From the St. Louis Hawks robbing themselves of a shot at glory to the 76ers foolishly ditching a future MVP, here are the top 10 worst NBA trades in NBA history. And to start proceedings, I present the 1998 trade between the Bucks and the Mavericks.
With the 9th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
Sure, many didn't know who Dirk Nowitzki was back in 1998, just a German string bean selected by the Bucks as the 9th overall pick, and even fewer truly cared about him. But when he was drafted ahead of decorated college star Paul Pierce, there was certainly an element of interest. Somehow though, after a flurry of mistakes from the 76ers and the Bucks in the draft, the Milwaukee side traded away the Nowitzki for a college athlete Robert Traylor, someone who'd go on to be known for having weight problems, ironically. Since then though, Robert Tractor Traylor started a total of 70-odd games in his 7-year NBA career, while Nowitzki, well, he's up there as one of the greatest imports of talent into the NBA ever.
Nowitzki, a guy who's only 20 years old. He was the most valuable player in Germany a year ago. He tied it with a 3. We're tied at 8.
Talking about big-time fumbles though, how about the trade between the 76ers and the Suns back in '92? Yep, the Charles Barkley trade, one of the most lopsided trades to ever happen in the NBA. And to this day, I can't make any sense of it. Barkley, at 28, was one of the best players in the league.
It's the second time Robinson has done that.
Barkley with Ben Johnson.
That's a step out of his range. Nice move.
And Barkley.
But the 76ers decided to send him to Phoenix in exchange for Tim Perry, Andrew Kang, and Jeff Hornacek. What followed was, well, exactly what the 76ers deserved. Barkley would go on to win the MVP award the following season and even led the Suns to the NBA Finals. The Sixers, on the other hand, wouldn't see the playoffs for 6 consecutive years. But at least Barkley didn't win a championship in his career, right? Because the next trade set up a dynasty in Los Angeles. I'm talking about the Utah Jazz gifting the Lakers with some magic. It was one of the all-time biggest blunders in NBA history. The Jazz would make a 6-player trade with the Lakers, and the Lakers, like they always do, fleeced the poor Utah side completely. If the trade wasn't bad enough, which it was, with Utah sending the likes of Sam Worthen, Freeman Williams, and Kenny Carr to the Lakers, while receiving Gail Goodrich, Jack Givens, and Essie Given, they also threw in a first-round pick of the 1979 draft as a sweetener. Oh, what a shame. The Jazz would go on to finish the 1978 season in last place, and the Lakers accepted the gift with both hands, getting the first overall selection in the 1979 NBA draft. They used that pick to land just the greatest point guard in NBA history, Magic Johnson. But the Jazz can take some solace in knowing that they're not the only team who made a mistake of that magnitude, as the Seattle Supersonics did the same with Scottie Pippen. The Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan should still be sending a gift card to Bob Whitsitt, the GM who traded Pippen, because if not for this trade, the greatest player of all time wouldn't have been the greatest player of all time. The Sonics already had one of the greatest shooters in NBA history as their starting small forward in Dale Ellis. Along with Scottie Pippen and Xavier McDaniel, they could have had a pretty decent team. Instead, they traded Pippen for Olden Polonice. And if you catch yourself saying, who, just about now, don't blame yourself. Polonice would start 7 games in 3 seasons with Seattle, while Pippen went on to make history. But luckily for them, it doesn't crack into the top 5 worst trades ever made, as the Brooklyn Nets made a far worse trade in the 2013 offseason. The Celtics robbed the Nets big time by unloading an aging trio of Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry. Brooklyn happily accepted, believing they had a shot at the title, while the Celtics in return received 4 first-round picks and some really decent player squad options. However, it's the picks that made this such a lopsided affair. The Celtics would go on to use those picks to draft Jason Tatum and use another one to get Kyrie Irving. The Nets, though, flopped big time, and their star players left one by one without winning anything. Although, this doesn't make the top 5 either, because neither side went all the way, right? Something that the Lakers definitely did after the Pau Gasol trade with the Grizzlies in 2008. We've already seen dynasties being created due to trades, and this one isn't any different. Chris Wallace was the reason the Lakers would go on to make 3 straight finals, and the reason why Kobe would end his career with 5 rings, all because the Grizzlies GM moved Gasol to the Lakers. Despite losing their first trip to the finals, the Lakers won back-to-back championships.
The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles. The LA Lakers, the 2010
playoffs. But the Lakers didn't only benefit in the late 2000s because of the trade. They also benefited big time around the end of the 90s because of the trade. Remember the time they stole Kobe Bryant from the Charlotte Hornets? Like, all the Hornets needed back in '95 was one good player to mount a challenge. They had a decent team, and they even got Kobe Bryant in the draft. Instead of keeping Kobe around, though, the Hornets traded him to the Lakers for Vlade Divac. Now, Divac wasn't a bad player by any means, but let's not compare him to the Black Mamba, huh? The 18-time All-Star and 5-time NBA champion. What a fumble. And it wouldn't surprise anyone to know that the Lakers made the list again, with the Wilt Chamberlain deal back in the early 70s. Now, I don't have any idea why the Sixers would trade someone who'd won the MVP award that very season, but they did, and the Lakers were the beneficiaries of the deal, as you'd expect. In fact, Wilt the Stilt kickstarted the global standard of sports franchises, taking the Lakers to their first ever championship. And get this, the man who furthered their bid of becoming the most successful team in the NBA was also landed via a trade: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What compelled the Bucks to make this trade is one of the biggest mysteries of all time. Kareem was averaging 30 points, 14 rebounds, and over 3 blocks per game. But they still traded him for nobodies like Dave Myers, Elmore Smith, and Junior Bridgman. Meanwhile, Kareem would go on to win the NBA a total of 5 times with the Lakers, while becoming the NBA's MVP 6 times before ending his career as the all-time leading scorer. Somehow, this still isn't the worst trade ever, because that honor goes to the St. Louis Hawks for trading away Bill Russell to the Boston Celtics, all because they didn't want a black player playing for them. They instead traded him for 2 Caucasian players. And the way it all unfolded is absolutely crazy. See, one day before the draft, the Celtics sent Ed McCauley and player rights of Cliff Hagan to the St. Louis Hawks to get their 2nd overall pick. The Hawks happily accepted due to their racial bias. But Bill Russell was still expected to go as the number 1 pick, and the Rochester Royals had that pick. So, Red Auerbach, the Celtics coach, convinced Walter Brown, the owner of the Celtics, a lucrative series of shows performed by the Ice Capades, so that they wouldn't sign Russell as their first pick. To their surprise, the Royals agreed, and Boston snatched him up. And the rest, as they say, is history, with Russell winning the NBA 11 times, whereas the Hawks wouldn't win another championship until they moved to Atlanta in 1968. That's all I had on the top 10 worst trades in NBA history.
And getting a number of offensive rebounds. Gasol, nice fake. Pretty move from the 7-footer.
Gotta be ready to catch the basketball and be aggressive, because Paul Pierce is totally ignored.
The help that Pierce is creating.
Rondo to Garnett. Perfect pass